YouTube. Welcome back to New Rock City. I'm your host, Stephen Moss, and I haven't made some videos in a while because I've been very busy with the festival, the New Rock City Festival. It's been growing very well. And in fact, this year I have two locations with 33 bands from 5 countries. And the first festival will be on July 28th and 29th in Chester, England, at the amazing venue called the Live Rooms. And the second location for this year is back to where it all started on August 11th through the 13th. I'll be back in London, England at the venue called the Black Heart that's right in the middle of Camden Town. For tonight's show, we have a band that spans between two states, some members in North Carolina, some in PA. So please welcome everybody. 30 is Dead. Guys,
Hey,
What up, guys?
thank you so much for coming
what's
on the
going
show.
on? Thanks for having us,
Thanks for
dude.
having us.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to jump right in and want to know, like, how did the band get together?
So, we've all been in other projects, and we live really close to each other. We all went to high school together.
We did when I was
very
down
cool.
there.
Yeah, when
Everybody was like
Chris
within like
lived-
5 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, and we all knew each other. And Chris and I had joked for years that we were never going to be in a band together, and that obviously was not true. Here we are today.
Yeah, we
But-
just had to keep trying it until we ran out of other people to be in bands with, I guess.
And so I guess it was right before COVID, right, Chris?
Yeah, October of 2019. We had just started we just written our set and started looking to book shows, and actually had like just booked our show the week that the lockdown happened. So we were like, we're playing in June, and the universe was like, you're not playing for a year.
So it kind of we became a band more by like,
I think it was supposed to be a cover band at first, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Joe's like, I'm trying to do this cover band thing with these guys, and then we just started jamming, and then it quickly became apparent that we were playing originals quickly.
yeah, but yeah.
So I got a little taste of the North Carolina music scene last December. I was down there
Yeah,
in
Tommy's.
Charlotte. Yes, at
Yeah.
Tommy's Pub. That was my first USA show. But I know you guys are from like North Point, and I actually don't really know much about that part of North Carolina.
High Point. Yeah,
Or High Point, I'm sorry.
Yep.
So what's the music scene like there?
interesting.
It used to be
Yeah.
really strong. Yeah,
Okay.
it used to be really strong. And
Yeah, so some like history of the area, like in the 80s, a lot of like the like hardcore punk movement was kind of coming through there. A lot of like Black Flag, a lot of Bad Brains and stuff were playing in Greensboro. And then in the 90s in Winston-Salem, you had a lot of like college rock stuff, like REM produced records there and some of that
Very
stuff.
cool.
And so there's definitely like a culture of music there. And then in the scene that we came up in the early 2000s, there was a really big emo, like metalcore kind of scene happening there. And so I guess that's kind of where we came at it. What is it like now, Joe? What do you think? You're more intimate with everybody doing stuff.
well, man, we're trying. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more bands than there has been in the past few years. So that's good. It just makes networking a lot more easy when you have other people that are trying to do similar things. And it just wasn't like that for years. There was pretty much nobody, and the bands that were doing it were just had nowhere to go, nowhere to play. So luckily, there's a community that's coming together now, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for this area.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like a lot of people started stuff during lockdown because we got a jump on it coming out of it, because since we'd already had our set written before the lockdown started and we were trying to kind of figure out how to like write music and stuff, then when we got out of lockdown and it was like, okay, like we can be in public again, we like immediately started playing shows. And then we saw like every month that went by, there was like 5 new bands doing this and then another 5 new bands. And so I think it's growing out of that. Everybody being
That's
bored.
cool. When I was researching your band, I came across something interesting. Chris, you had mentioned this. You said, we all come from different musical backgrounds. So instead of being influenced by bands, we sort of are influenced more of compilations and video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
So I want to know which video games and how did they kind of play a role in your music and in your band?
Video game. I mean, Tony Hawk is clearly the one.
Gotcha. There you go.
The biggest-
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony Hawk. I mean, a lot of the sports games from around where we were in high school, like the NHL stuff. I played a good amount of NHL, and then some like random racing games and stuff. Everybody kind of had punk music in their soundtracks back then. And then me and Joe actually are the biggest punk fans historically in the band. Everybody else kind of comes from more of a metal background. They like it, but we definitely like grew up on it. And we used to swap back and forth, like all of like Punkaramas or what else?
Love
Punk Rock
those.
is Your Friend, Rock
Yeah.
Against Bush.
All the novels,
Yeah, and then even like
compilation albums.
local scenes would have their comps and stuff. I don't know, because like when you listen to punk band like the Queers, we played with the Queers. I love the Queers. They're a really good band. But like halfway through their set, they played a song, and I was like, wait, this is the same song they already played. And then I realized the lyrics were different. And like in punk rock, like bands do this. And to me, like I've never consumed punk music that way. Like I've always consumed it as like the full genre. So it just made more sense that we would play music that was more subgenre spanning than a lot of bands do.
Very nice. So, as someone who was depressed when I hit the age 30, I found your band name to be quite hilarious. So, what was behind that, or how did you guys come up with
Man,
it?
I honestly thought it was a joke. I mean, we had it on the list of band names we were thinking about forever. And, it was one of my ideas. It's like, man, 30 sucks.
Well, because you said 30's not dead.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, it's punk rock. 30 is dead.
30
Punk is dead. Rock is dead. 30 is dead.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it was the one. I don't think we chose it. I think we eliminated all of the other ones.
And it
I
just
think
kind of,
it was the last one to get crossed
Last
out.
one
And then,
standing.
yeah, and then people liked it. And we actually, every time, it's been interesting because we make jokes about stuff and then we kind of start taking it seriously. And then we're like, this is stupid. This is a joke. Why are we doing this? But then it always has a really big response. Like everyone really likes the band name. Everybody really liked this stupid Bojangles show we did. So we wrote Stick Drift. Like we were like
Gotcha.
bitching about broken video game controllers. And we were like, that'd be funny if we made this hardcore song. And then like everybody likes it. So we just go with the jokes now, I guess.
the funny
There
words.
you go.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so I'm gonna go get right into your music. The first song that I was gonna play for everyone is Main Drain. What can you tell us about that song?
The Main Drain, I actually wrote because I had a dream, and the whole song is about my dream. I had a dream
Wow.
that me and my drummer went fishing in a local lake for a mermaid because he's really big into fishing. And I woke up from that dream. And I was like, well, I gotta write this song. So, I mean, that's pretty much where it came from, is the inner workings of my brain.
Joe writes a lot of
Very
songs about
cool.
dreams. And then musically, I was listening to like, it really doesn't come across, but I was listening to like a lot of Pup at the time, and I wanted to kind of try to figure out like a Pup riff. And somehow that turned into that first riff that starts the song out, and then we kind of just took it from there. The 2-chord thing, I listened to a lot of the Thermals, so I kind of wanted to try to write a song that was just like 2 chords, so the whole verse is kind of influenced by the Thermals. But it
Right
sounds
on.
like a Blink song, really. I don't know, it's so poppy.
All right, so for those at home, we'll let them be the judge of that. Here is Main Drain by 30 is Dead.
One early morning, Kevin and I were fishing. He just knew that he could get a bite. I wasn't thrilled, but I went with him. No, I didn't get much sleep that night. With dark hair and bright green eyes, we just sat there and mesmerized, staring
All right, and welcome back to the show, everybody. You guys put out a couple of music videos as well that I wanted to play. But the first one I was going to play is Treason's Greetings. What can you tell us about that song and the video?
So that was just a really fun song to write. Chris, you tell the little bit of the background. But
So we, after the January 6th attack on the White House, we had our next band practice after that. We came in, and Joe's not an especially political person, but as soon as we walked in, he was like, "Hey, I've got thoughts," and he just spouted off these lyrics, and I was like, "Whoa, that's something. That's cool." And so then I was just also sort of pissed off that there was a coup attempt, and started just
Gotcha.
kind of playing some stabby stuff, and then at first they kind of didn't go together, but there was just, I don't know, there was like an energy in the room. Everybody really wanted to do some punk shit after having watched that whole thing unfold. And so it kind of all came together. It's the only time I think we've written an entire song in one practice. Like, it basically didn't change.
Oh, wow.
well, what happened? Because I'm having Chris explain it, because my brain at the time, I was just feeling so many emotions, and I had all these lyrics, and I was like, I need you to do something with this. So I just gave him all the lyrics, and we just sat there and hashed it all out.
I think that's the only song that we've finished that started with just lyrics too.
Yep.
All the rest of them
I
started
had
music.
I had every lyric to that song written when I walked into practice.
Yeah. And then we thought it would be witty to call it Treason's Greetings, because it's kind of funny wordplay. And then when we were looking at getting it released, it ended up being, we were looking at releasing a song on Black Friday. So we're like, we should just make this, try and make a Trojan horse Christmas song so that people think they're getting this happy Christmas song. And then really it's this political statement.
That's awesome. I love it.
So that video, though, you were talking about the video. The video is also interesting, because that was the first. So Main Drain, we kind of just put out to have something out so we could get some shows and stuff like that. And then Treason's Greetings is kind of the beginning of what I think of as the real releases that we've been pushing and trying to market ourselves with. And so we were trying to figure out how we package up a song. We're okay, well, we need a picture for the album art. We need, a couple of social assets and stuff. So we just got together and we had a photo shoot for 2 hours or something. Instead of practice, we just got a camera and fucked around with some Christmas sweaters. And then after that, we were scrolling back through all the pictures, and we were watching them in order. We're oh my God, this is incredible. Just watching these photos as a video. And so then that's ended up being the video for Treason's Greetings, was just the rollback of the photos, edited a little bit. It was a pain in the ass. I wish I knew that when we were starting it, so I didn't have to try to put together 3 minutes of raw photographs into a video.
Well, we took thousands of photographs. We were just fucking around in my
Yeah, it was a lot.
Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, because the camera shoots at real time.
So we just
That's
put
really
it all
cool.
together, and there it was.
All right, so for those at home, here is the video for Treason's Greetings.
There's gotta be a reason why we're all committing treason. It's already open season, honey. Why should we wait? All the puppets on the podium supporting their guns, while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. We either bow down or bow out. Grab a ticket and wait in line. Freedom is just a memory that will fade over time. All the puppets on the podium supporting their guns, while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. Happiness is a chemical that they dump into our veins. Individuality is just a concept, but in reality we're all the same. All the puppets on the podiums are pointing their guns, while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. There's gotta be a reason. We're all the same. We're all committing treason. We're all the same.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. So I just wanted to piggyback on that one real quick. So speaking of your videos, last week you just dropped your newest video,
We did.
and there was guest appearances of 5 different North Carolina bands.
Yep.
What was that like for you guys?
Awesome.
Nerve wracking.
Yeah, I mean, Chris did a lot of planning for that one.
Yep.
He really took the lead and reached out to all these bands all across North Carolina, and we had to get permission to put their names in the music video, and we had to ask all these other bands to come and join us in the shoot. It was just, I'm sure it was a hell of a time for Chris, but for the rest of us, oh, dude, it was just so much fun.
It was a blast, man. It was good. It was, yeah. So I was working at a job at the time where I had access to like these awesome cinema cameras, so we just like grabbed all those and
That's cool.
yeah, brought everybody in. Kind of, it ended up being more run and gun than I wanted it to be, but I think that probably helped the tone of the video. It feels, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. It's funny because I don't know that I would necessarily list like Sum 41 as like the biggest musical influence, but I feel like in like our personality and branding and just kind of the way that we like dick off, there's a good amount of like Sum 41 or like Jackass like kind of coming through there.
It is very much like that.
Gotcha. Well, very cool. So for those at home, here is the video for 30's Not Dead by 30 Is Dead.
We're 30 is dead, this song 30's not dead!
Where were you when your childhood died? When you treated playing outside for getting high? Or when you took that 9 to 5 just to make enough to get by? Here I go, I'll sell my soul. I promise not to take control of my life. Will pass me by. Soon I will be too old to care. Just take some time and enjoy the ride. Live it up while we're all still here. Carpe diem, don't waste away. You are stuck with the choices you make. Here I go, I'll sell my soul. I promise not to take control of my life. Will pass me by. Soon I will be too old to care. Just take some time and enjoy the ride. Live it up while we're all still here. We never knew how good we had it. We just rushed it growing up. But it's all gone like we never had it. And most don't give a fuck. But not me, I'll take every minute. Because we don't get things back. Just relax and take a second. And realize where you're at. Here I go, I'll sell my soul. I promise not to take control of my life. Will pass me by. Soon I will be too old to care. Just take some time and enjoy the ride. Live it up while we're all still here.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. So, coming up soon on May 26th, you guys are going to be releasing a new single called Stick Drift.
Yes.
It's also the heaviest song to date. What insights can you give your fans about the new single?
Oh man, it's just so different, but it's awesome. Chris has a part in it where he yells.
It's the first time I've ever I do lead vocals on the first verse, and that was terrifying. I don't sing. I'm really tone deaf. That was
Gotcha.
a bizarre
But it came out
experience.
so well.
But it sounds good, yeah.
It's the only song that we have that is not just me.
Yeah.
And even on like everything we've recorded so far. And I think it's going to make a big splash. I think people are going to really like it. But I think one of the big reasons why they're going to like it is because it's so unique.
Yeah.
And I hope that
Gotcha.
sticks around for all of our other releases. I want people to look back on that one and be like, no, that was a cool song to put in with everything else we're going to do.
So is that like a foreshadow of what the album is going to be, or is this just something totally unique in itself?
It's totally unique. I mean,
Well,
Gotcha.
yeah, yes and no, right? Because so it's weird because with the way Spotify works, like they prefer you to release singles. So if
Okay.
Treason's Greetings up through Stick Drift and then the next song are sort of an EP. Like we recorded them together. We've got a cover for them. We're going to package them up. And so the first two songs, I feel like were kind of us putting out like this is like a more traditional punk thing. But I feel like even with Don't Probe Me, Bro, like we were already trying to be like, we're kind of breaking out of this mold. Like we're starting at the base. So I feel like Don't Probe Me, Bro is kind of a chance for us to get like a little weirder. And then Stick Drift is a chance to get a little heavier. And then we're in pre-production right now on the second EP that we're planning on handling the same way. And it's kind of worked out the same way where we've got like kind of a straightforward punk song. We got like a heavier hardcore song. We've got one that's just kind of like a little weird and dancey. And so I think that like, it's not like Stick Drift isn't setting a precedent in us being a heavier band, but it's setting a precedent
Gotcha.
where we could play heavy songs sometimes, like as part of the repertoire.
yeah.
I gotcha. Very nice.
And it's a
So,
banger, dude. It's really good.
Yes, you sent me the link, so I got to listen to it, and it's good. But I don't want to go into it in case if that's something you're leaving for a reveal later. So what I'll ask next is, what about shows? What kind of shows you got coming up?
We got some exciting shows, dude. So yeah, June 1st we're playing at New York Pizza, and New York Pizza is this legendary local spot in Greensboro where we both played quite a bit during the teens.
Yeah.
And I played a show that they got in trouble. They were having too many people in and serving them far too much alcohol, and things were getting broken, and the cops noticed, and they weren't allowed to do that anymore. And then they swore off of doing it. They said it's not worth it. Well, somehow, coming up on a decade, like 7 years later, someone convinced them that they should have some punk shows there again. So we're gonna go
Nice.
see if we can not break New York Pizza.
Oh man,
Oh.
I'm so excited because I mean we just have so many fond memories of that venue, and I personally never thought we were ever gonna play there again. And
Same. And the first show they had back was on April Fool's Day. Everybody thought it was a joke.
I legitimately thought that I saw the flyers around town. I was like, "There's no way!" Like, and the bands that were on the flyers, I was like, "These are huge bands." Like, there's no way. And I was at that show, and it was buck wild.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
the first show back on April Fool's Day, I was like, I'm gonna show up and no one's gonna be there. I just knew. But
A lot of people are gonna be there. There's gonna be no bands. Just everybody showing up for April Fool's Day. Then that weekend on June 3rd, we're playing at Tua Lingua in Charleston, and it's the first time that we are playing out of state. And it's
Oh, really?
by far the farthest that we played, because up to that we played Charlotte, and that's kind of the far Charlotte and Chapel Hill. So like we've got like an hour, and so Charleston's a pretty big jump past that.
Because we talked about Tommy's earlier in the show. You guys have played there too, right?
Yeah, we played Tommy's. That was the first time we played in Charlotte. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, gotcha.
Tommy's fucking rules.
Yeah, I love that place. Now also you guys had mentioned something about a festival that was like hockey themed or something.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah, we're playing. So June 30th, we're playing in Charlotte again. We're playing
Okay.
at the Milestone, which I've never gotten to play in the Milestone. I love the Milestone. I'm so excited about that. But it's a 2-day pop punk festival with 25 bands, and it's kind of got this hockey theme to it. It's being hosted by this podcast called Bar Down Breakdown that Kevin and Brian were on. And yeah, I don't, dude, it's such a kill. Like, please come to this show. You don't know me, internet, but like, you're gonna love this show. It's such a killer lineup.
A huge
Dude, that
band.
sounds like something I would love to go down there for. Pop punk and hockey?
You
That's great.
should. I think you would love it.
I would love it.
Although you're gonna be in Hurricanes territory, so I don't know.
That's all right. I'll show up in my Brodeur jersey. I'll be proud.
Oh man.
That's why I chose this location, so I can have my little devils in the background.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I'm a Flyers fan. We didn't even make it, so I can't talk.
Okay.
I've just been pulling for the Canes because I live there.
No, they beat us fair and square. You guys played great, so
Yeah. Hey, you had me scared in
Good
game 3 though,
series.
man. But that was good. That was good stuff.
dude, Timo Meyer had an empty net that he missed, and Baskin had a backhander that was wide open net. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that could have easily been 4-2 Devils.
Yeah.
All right. But all right, I said I wouldn't do too much hockey talk.
Try not to bore
So-
Joe.
Yeah. So we did talk about the beginnings of the band, the current state of the band. I'm actually kind of curious now. What are some future goals that you guys have? What are you working towards as a band?
Well, like Chris said earlier, we're working on our next Chris, 6 releases.
5 or 6. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
We're going to be in the studio in July, and we're really excited about these songs. We've been working on them for some time now, but other than getting out new music, our biggest goal is just to keep playing as many shows
Yeah.
as we can.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's like everything. I don't think any of us expected this band to do as well as it's been doing, and everything that we've done up to this point has kind of been a reaction to opportunities that have kind of shown themselves. So that's my plan, is to just keep looking for opportunities and capitalizing on them.
Yep.
I think anytime we've tried to plan something, it doesn't really go well. So just
Gotcha.
kind of trying to cruise. I'm really excited to get back in the studio and get another crack at making a record, though. We learned some really cool lessons the first time around, and I'm excited to iterate on them.
Well, we talked about new music, a new video, touring further than the band's ever been before.
Yeah.
So your fans got some really cool stuff to look forward to. I like to end my shows the same way, and that's just giving you guys the opportunity to speak to the camera, to your fans, and say, what would you like to say to your fans?
I just want to say that, man, guys, we really appreciate all the support, because, like Chris just said a minute ago, we never thought we would have one fan, less all the ones that are already following us. So if there's anything that we can do for you guys, just reach out and let us know. We're all over social media. Talk to us. We're human. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think again, like, anyone watching this because you found us online, you're a saint. I don't know how that happens. Like, it's cool to talk to people, but like, the number of people that we don't know that are enjoying what we're doing has been phenomenal, and the number of people we do know that continue to support us is incredible. Another side jag here quick. If you play in a band, we have this directory that we've made of like over like 6,000-ish bands, and you can find that on our Instagram, because we're trying to take our resources and share those with the community. So please check that out, and we have a Discord where you can talk to us about those things too.
It's very awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Well, I will have a link in the description below to all your socials so people can see you there. Joe, Chris, I appreciate it, man. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
so much.